Hey there, it's Nathalie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing or coming in and watching. Listen, I am super excited. I've got new cabinets for my sewing room. Lots of places to store stuff and projects. Well, anyway, so I went to the Dollar Tree again and I bought a whole bunch of pot holders. So last video I showed you how to make a really cute little purse caddy out of a sunflower pot holder. But this time I want to show you how to take just some plain pot holders and embellish them with like scraps of fabric, pieces of burlap. I've got some little word labels that I've made. Anyway, this is pretty easy, beginner level. Doesn't take long to make them at all. So don't go away. This is a pretty simple project. So Dollar Tree pot holders, 2 for $1, 50 cents a piece. Cut the tags out of them. I got boxes of snack bags, also from the Dollar Tree, 6 1/4 inches by 3 1/4 inches. And I like these better than the Great Value ones. The Great Value ones have, this is almost completely green. I like this single green area. And you're going to need some pins, maybe a little measure thing, and some scraps of fabric. Now I've got this laying here, this canvas cloth, because I have made some labels that now, and these are kind of Christian in nature. You know, give thanks, be still and know, be strong and courageous, overcomer, his joy is my strength, some stuff like that. So I'm going to embellish these, and I'm going to do these are add-ons. So I did up these labels in Word, and then I printed them off on this canvas cloth, and I don't know if that's still available from Office Depot. I've had these for a long time, and they've got a kind of a smooth-ish back, so they go through. But there's all kinds of videos about how to run like muslin or something like that through your printer. Anyway, I'm going to link these if you would like to download these. They'll be free, and they're going to be in my library on my blog. So myhallcloset.com. So I'll put the link for that down there. And thank you so much for all of you who have subscribed. All right, so what the first thing I did, opened up the bag of the Ziploc bags, and I trimmed off. Let me show you this one. This one has not been trimmed. These two little ridges here, it doesn't matter. I cut off this excess. You don't need this excess, but I left this one ridge before you get to the green. Anyway, I trimmed these off, and then I measured up 1 inch from the bottom, and I put a little pin on both ends. And so I did 2 of them for each. So there's 4 little pockets for each pot holder piece. This one's already been stitched, and I put some washi tape in the middle here to help my presser foot feed across the plastic bags. And so I'm going to embellish this one. I've got just a scrap of fabric that's left over from when I did all those scrub caps. And then I'll cut one of these out and pin this on here, and then we'll do some stitching at the sewing machine. But to get started, what I did is I folded this in half. And this one doesn't have like a, well, it does kind of have a right or wrong side, does it? This to me looks like the wrong side. Let me show you here. This looks like the wrong side to me, and so I put my embellishment on the right side. It's not finished yet. So I measured in half, and I did like this, wrong side. And put a pin. This is on the wrong side, and then I folded these little corners like this, evened them up, and put a little pin. So I know that as long as I keep my stitching or my embellishment, my little extra stuff on this side, then I'm not going to get into the fold of that. All right? Then I know that that I'm going to have room. Now the other thing you need to know is that when this is folded and buttoned over, this is the top. So this is the top of your design. You would stitch, and then I'm going to embellish here, and then I would come in and sew my bags in. It doesn't really matter which one you do first, but I think like if with this one, when I go to embellish this one now, I'll have to make sure that I keep my bags out of the way so I don't stitch them down. So I'm going to cut some of the labels, and then we're going to go to the sewing machine. My machine is threaded with black, and I want to make sure that my Ziploc bags are not under my presser foot. I'm going to do a straight stitch, and I'm going to do a messy stitch. So I'm not going to worry. I'm going to go around this like 3 times, and I'm not going to worry about staying in the lines. And I like to tear my fabric so it has a little bit of a little raw edge on it, and I'm going to actually come off of my fabric, and it would help if I turn the power on. I've got about a medium length stitch, and again, I'm not worried about whether I am in or over, or make sure, this is the most important thing, is make sure the Ziplocs are out of the way. And I'm just back stitching a little bit just to put me back up in there. And right here, there's my line of stitching. I'm not worried. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go kind of crisscross across it. Not even at all. So this is a great one for beginners who, I mean, if you're trying to learn how to straight stitch. Do one more. Now I'm putting Warrior Chick in this one. So my button is going to go here, so that's going to be my top edge. And I'm just going to put this right in the middle. I'm going to scoot this right this way, and I'll clip off that extra thread, or not. And I'm using the black. Let me go back one more stitch, or 2. There we go. Alright, so that's the way that this one is going to look. On the back side, it's got a messy look. You could also stitch this by hand if you wanted to, but I'm not going to show you how to do that. At least not right now. My bags are out of the way, so all I have to do is then fold this up, put my button on here, which I did that in my other video. I'll put that in the link below. And then you can use these for like Band-Aids or lip balm, or there's all kinds of stuff that you can use this for. Alright, so here's my one that I have the leopard print on. Now this is not going to be as noticeable on the back side because it's going to all be in black. Then you could do a different other kind of decorative stitch if you wanted to. Get the pins out of the way. So I'll just do 2 rows of stitching on this one, and I have a little piece. I'm going to go sideways with this. I've got a piece of burlap, and I did a little bit of a ravel on the edge of it, and it's just a little bit larger than my overcomer. And so I may do overcomer straight on there. I may do it sideways, but I do know that I'm going to do this sideways. And I'm going to do a little tiny zigzag to make sure I catch the... But you don't have to do a zigzag. You could do something else and you could do another kind of fabric. But I'm going to do a zigzag. And I need to shorten my stitch length. So I want to catch that burlap. And still have a little bit of raggy on the edges. You could glue it down and then stitch it with the straight stitch. Like that. Now then I'm going to go back to my straight stitch and then decide, do I want to... I think I like that. I think I'm not even going to like center it up. I'm going to run it off the edge over on this side. And I'll use a lint roller to get this little raggedy stuff off here. Alright, clean up my stitches on the back side a little bit. I can get a hold of them. There we go. There they are. Alright. Now then, this is my halfway mark, and I want to take my Ziploc bags that I've already pinned up and scoot them to the, they just fit inside that little stitch line right there. So I'm going to line that up, put a little pin there, turn it around. Now I probably could do them both at one time, but I'm not going to. So there's my halfway mark. The yellow pin is my halfway mark. Line this one up. Pin this in place. Line these edges up. Like I said, I measured up an inch from the bottom and put a little pin to be my little mark. And my yellow pin right here is my halfway mark. Now I'm going to take these other pins out. Make sure I get the hold of the right pin to pull it out. Line this one up on my halfway. Pin that in place. Whoops. Hold on. Okay. So now I'm going to stitch down the middle, but I'm going to get some washi tape to put over the top of this so that it doesn't... You know what? Let me just try it without washi tape, and then in case you don't have washi tape, you can see what it's going to do. Alright? So this is my middle, and I'm going to move in just a little bit and put my needle in place and then pull that pin out. Alright? And I'm gonna go down to this end. Let's see which one is the one that's pinned through everything. Get all of these other pins out of here. That's the one. Alright, so now I'm going to go forward a couple of stitches and back a couple of stitches. And see how it kind of wants to pucker and pull? So you just have to just go slow. Use that through, pull that pin out there. Now I'm working on a series of beginner sewing projects that I'm going to do as an online course, and so sometimes when I'm away from here for just a little bit, that's what I'm working on. All right, so this is my Ziploc side. This is my little 1-inch side. I just take my good pair of sharp scissors. Make sure I don't cut my other bag. I don't need this extra stuff off here. And then just cut that away, leaving about a 1/2 inch. And then same thing, except I'm going to turn it around because it's easier for me to work with my scissors this direction. So about a 1/2 inch, making sure I don't cut my main bags. And my scissors are good and sharp, so they just slide. Alright, then all I have to do now is put a button on here, and then I can take it down to the boutique. Alright, so my machine, there's a button back here at the back, and that lowers my feed dogs, which pulls the fabric through. So with the sewing a button on, you don't want to pull the fabric through. I'm going to change my presser foot out and put on a button foot. And so it's kind of cushioned a little bit. Put my threads back here. Now I'm going to set my zigzag to probably about 5, not quite as wide as the complete width. And then I'm going to set my length to 0. And this, let me align, this is my middle of where my button is going to be. So I'm going to line my pin up, and then I'm going to take my pin out. And again, if you wanted to mark that with a pencil or a little quilt, marks be gone or something like that, shove that on. I'm going to lift this up just a little bit with my presser foot, the lift bar. I still have my fingers in the way, I'm sure. Presser foot's down, 1 stitch in, make sure my width is good. This one's a little narrow, so I'm going to scoot this back out to 5. I don't want to break my needle. I get real paranoid about breaking my needles. And it doesn't matter which side you stop in. It doesn't matter if you stop in the same side you started in. This just happened to be the same side I started in, so my threads are on that one side. But I don't know that that's important. Trim that off. And I'm going to leave that little washi tape on the inside of there. There we go. That little loop is a little bit short. But anyway, so there's some cute little purse totes, little purse caddies. A little bit more personal than just the sunflowers. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give me a little thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.